Let's try and paint some samosas. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today the prompt for World Watercolour Month is samosas, and well, not samosas, it's street food. I like samosas. We love eating samosas. My husband and I would say at least once a month, maybe more, we'll get into some very nice samosas, and it's always fun to paint. So looking at my picture, this beautiful golden triangles of pure bliss, I think what I am going to do is I'm going to use a bit of my Payne's Grey. Let's get this rolling, because I want to paint the plate in the background, and that's fairly dark. So again, I'm going to use my white wax crayon, and I'm just going to bring a highlight and preserve the white on that a little bit. Right, I think the rest of the plate is missing here, so that's gonna help. Is there anything else? Oh yes, and then here on the ridge of the sauce bowl we have a beautiful highlight as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some white wax there, and maybe just here and there on a triangle's edge where it can have a beautiful light reflective moment, like so. Just preserving some of the white somewhere can be very helpful in your painting. Right, I'm going to start with this plate in a fairly strong wash. Now you'll notice I've got some masking fluid around the edge, and I'll just drop in the video quickly for you guys where I painted in this vignette. Now I shared this morning with my Patreons on Patreon that this is one of the challenges that I wanted to get into, and when I turned the page in my art journal, I thought this is the best time now to get into, just trying it for yourself, painting with a vignette, and playing with the angles can be very exciting in watercolor. So I'm just using the, what shall we call it, the vignette shape to, or the masking fluid to just block out a nice line, so when I remove it I've got a nice clean edge like that. And this time round I did use my applicator. No, I used a brush, that's what I mean to say. I used the brush instead of my applicator. Let me just concentrate here on my shapes quickly. It's hard to talk and think and paint negatively all at the same time. Right. Beautiful triangles of absolute joy. So let me know in a comment, do you like samosas? What is your favorite street food? Which is the street food that you simply cannot walk past when you come across it on the street corner in your area where you live? Tell us all about it in the comments. I would love to learn what is your favorite street food. That's nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up my vignette here. And here you can see when I go over the wax, it does give me a beautiful resist, so there will be a little bit of a shape there. Let's go ahead and do that. Beautiful, and I think that's enough for the plate in the background. Now the table beneath the plate is a very nice dark brown, so I'm going to go ahead and take my burnt sienna to my Payne's grey here and just create a darker brown. I might even add a little bit of ultramarine blue. Let's add a bit of water, and this is the table, so let's go ahead and paint in the table. Just somewhere for this plate to stand. And I've got some green ready to go there in the background, because I'm going to drop in some green, talking about some greenery in the presentation here on the plate. I'll get to that now, so let's just first do this wash. And I'm painting with my Princeton Aqua Elite number 6. I definitely want to get smaller ones as well. Very good brush. It's just sometimes a little bit big for me, especially when I want to paint details. Like, it's nice for a broader wash. Now this has started to dry a little bit on me, so I'm just going to add some water and rinse off and grab some of this green that I've got here. And I just want to bring it around the plate here, and it's going to push that brown away a little bit here and there. And I'll let the watercolor do its thing. I'm not going to give a lot of detail to that. Beautiful. Right, let's rinse off. Now I'm going to let this Payne's grey dry thoroughly before I start filling in any of these little beautiful samosa triangles. So I think for now I'm gonna get into this salsa, and it looks like it's a bit of a green dish with the sulfurs in, so I'm gonna just use a bit of that violet to just tone down the green, so it looks a little bit more like a sagey green. And there we have the salsa bowl. I'm going to just talk a little bit about some of these greeneries in the salsa, because I don't want to lose that. And it's a very dry, wet on dry kind of approach. I want to just talk a little bit about some of these ingredients. These are beautiful. Something yellow, maybe a pepper, and here and there it can start to bleed into each other. And then I'm going to switch to my alizarin crimson and a little bit of that pyrrole red. That's maybe too much water on my brush. Let's begin to darken that. Add some black to it. as we go towards the perimeter, it's definitely darker, deeper. I'm going to darken it even more. Sure, that's very dark again. Let's add some water. I'm going to rinse and I'm going to bring some of this gold into it. I want it dark, but not that dark. There we go. Because this is a little bit more in shadow, so it's a little bit darker, and I think I must add a little bit of blue to it as well to cool it down a little bit. Again, too much water on my brush. I'm just going to cover all the white zones. That feels good, very good. I'm going to add a bit more blue to this and just drop it in around the edge. I'm taking off the water of my brush, getting into the green, and I'm just going to drop some of the green in there again. There we go. I think that's my salsa sauce. I'm going to grab some of this yellow ochre again. I'm just going to drop it in there. Because I know yellow pushes other color away, I'm sort of leaning into that. I'm going to use my pyrrole light. And just talk a little bit about some of these tomatoey moments in here. Right, okay. Now that is encased in a drier circle, so I think we can begin to play a little bit with our samosas. And I'm going to start with a very light base. Let's add some clean water to another well, and I'm gonna use my yellow ochre as a sort of foundational wash color, and one at a time we're gonna start to fill in these beautiful triangles. So this would be like my first wash. And then I can begin to deepen that a little bit on the edges. I'm using my quinacridone gold. And I'm just dropping in the color, focusing on these edges where the corners tend to fry up a little bit faster and turns a little bit more golden. And I'm very lightly going to add some to this. Giving it a little bit of texture. Nice. I'm gonna make a light gray mixture here, because this side of it is a little bit more in shadow, so I'm gonna introduce a bit of gray to these edges here. That's nice and light. I'm going to warm up my yellow ochre a little bit. Just going to add a little bit more warmth and goldenness to this spot. Cool, let's move on to the next. So I'm going to jump to a triangle that is not directly touching the previous one, just to avoid my watercolors to bleed into each other. So jump to another area in your painting while you allow that first section to dry. Okay. I'm going to add a drop of water to my quinacridone gold while there, because I'm using it pretty much straight from there. Right, so this one is nice and fried here on the side. And on this tip here as well. Beautiful. I'm going to grab a bit of that burnt sienna. Add that to the experience. And then at the same time I'm going to look at this shadow. This feels a little bit grayish there in the middle, and on the sides here it's definitely a bit stronger. Right, that feels pretty for now. I'm just going to pick up some of that. Right, let's pick another one. I'm gonna go with this one. Nice and golden on this inside. Bit of burnt sienna on this edge. And you can see now how the white wax is helping me to keep that separation there, because the wax is resisting the water. Let's add a bit of shadow. Okay, that's beautiful. I'm just going to drop that paint there. I'm going to make it a little bit more warmer by adding a bit more yellow ochre. Okay, let's clean up that edge. There we go. Okay, I need something a bit more intense here. Righty, let's get to another samosa. I can work on this one. Okay, let's begin with this one. So the detail is developed through the color, and that's what I like about it. This pre-sketching that I did, that I was talking to my Patreons about, is really just about plotting the shape and finding sort of just a general area where the subject matter or the form or shape is that you are seeing, and to give the correct proportions and dimensions to it. That's really what it's all about. So that has liberated me from trying to draw with too much detail, and I think it's challenging in the beginning when you want to capture so much detail that your eye is observing and seeing, and you want to sort of have all of those all of the information that you are noticing immediately, captured in your drawing. But it's not necessary, because a lot of it gets covered up with paint, and I find if you want to draw a lot of detail, then I sort of also did that for the first time this year with World Watercolour Month, is to draw in ink before the painting, permanent ink, just using a permanent marker. And I'm quite surprised with how nice that looks, sort of that whole drawing and then just painting over it. I think one of the episodes that I did that was with the lock and the door, and it's been really helpful to do that, especially for painting where now I'm going to do a lot of washes. Right, one by one we're filling them up. Okay, that one should be dry by now, so we can look at this shape. Let's do this one. Now I did draw in an imaginary one down there, but it's okay. They're lying on top of everything. We can start there. I think I'm gonna make this one shape. Okay. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna strengthen the shadow color with some ultramarine blue, and I'm also gonna drop that in all around the edge because it's lying underneath, so it's definitely darker. around these edges. Right, let's jump to the next one. Looking at my watercolor, I think I might get away with this one now. Lifting some of the water up so that it's not got too much water, because it is quite a small zone. Okay, this looks nice and crispy on this edge. Beautiful. And then there's a scar there. Okay. I'm gonna let that just seep in a little bit. Right, while that is drying, I think I'm gonna get back into my green and just make the green a little bit greener. Always just break it with a little bit of quinacridone gold deep so it's not so loud, and then you can just paint in some shapes that talks a little bit about these, what shall we call it, decoration. What do they call garnish? There's the word I'm looking for. Garnish next to the plate. I'm just going to use that outline. I'm going to rinse, take off most of the water, and just here and there soften an edge. You don't have to have hard edges everywhere. Let's get into the Spain's grey. Just here and there, especially here on the side where it's very dark, develop that shadow a little bit. Bring in a bit of contrast. Nice. Okay, let's develop another one. I think I can get away with this one now. A nice crispy golden one. Right. Beautiful. gonna add some burnt sienna as well down here. And some shadow color. Dropping it in right around this edge of this bowl and on the backing side. Right. Maybe a little bit more Payne's grey right around the edge here. Tapping in some color there. Fabulous. Righty then. And you basically just repeat the same pattern over and over. I think I'm going to take this one all the way to the edge. Nice. Okay. And then also a bit of shadow, a bit of ultramarine blue, a bit more water, a lot more water. There we go. Tidy up that line a bit. Nice. Okay. And it's also a lot more golden, so I'm going to strengthen it like that. Here you can see these two shapes blend into each other, so don't let that worry you. You can always just soften that, blend that out. Okay, we can do these two. Again, I can just imagine what's going on here, because it's a personal edition. I can't do anything in that corner because this is still too wet. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this water so that it doesn't take forever to dry. But I am at a stage where I've basically painted myself into a corner. So I'm going to have to let this dry before I can paint this or any of the surrounding areas. So I'm going to use my hairdryer quickly. So I'll see you now. Right, and I'm back. Cool. Okay, so now we can finish this one. My triangle was a bit skewed. Okay, so this is nice and crispy right underneath here. Almost feels like this one burnt a little bit. Right, so let's get into that shadow. Maybe a bit much, but it's okay. Right, so then we've got this last one over here. In fact, I'm going to uncomplicate things and just fill it up all the way. Shadow color right there, because it's underneath. I'm just gonna pick it up a little bit so that it softens. Now this corner, I'm gonna just fill this up with grey, because this is going to be a darker shadow anyway. Like so. Here is a bit of a shadow. This is all in shadow. That's in shadow. This is in shadow. Talking myself through some shadowful discussions. I might have to fill that up again. That's in shadow. That's in shadow. Okay, that's gonna have to dry so that I can complete that shadow. I just love how this is coming together. Nice. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush while those shadow lines dry, because we can soften them with a damp brush later. So I want to get into this green again, and I think I'm going to add just a little bit of nickel azo yellow to just, because I want it to be strong but still a happy green. And I'm just going to add some greenery to my salsa here. Using some of those highlighted moments or areas that I avoided painting to strengthen a little bit of this green. Nice. I'm also going to do the same here and just draw in some herbs here lying around. Okay, here's big bees. I think I'm gonna try to just splatter a little bit here and there. Oh, but splatter can be so complicated. I love myself a good splatter, but you always have the risk of contaminating your painting in another area. So I'm just going to use that as a guide. A bit more green here and there. Keeps softening on me, and that's okay. I'm trying to just dance over the painting and not say too much. And change these splatters to a little bit more of a cut herb size kind of thing. Just want to talk about it a little bit more. Like we see some parsley scattered over it. And repeating it everywhere sort of just brings it home to the viewer that we are looking at some herb suggestions here. I also want to strengthen my tomato vibe, so here and there I'm going to go for a bit of a saucier red. That feels beautiful, and it is almost, I can almost taste the samosa. So that's really cool. I actually quite like the shadow lines, most of them. This one I feel can be a little bit softened. And this one. So I'm just dragging a damp brush over it just to soften that line a little bit. But don't stress too much about it. I think this shadow needs to be developed a bit more, but I'm going to have to let that green dry. I'm going to strengthen that shadow a little bit more in here. While it's wet, I'm just going to take a damp brush and blend it. To feel there are areas that can do with a bit more shadow. Okay, this definitely needs to be darker, that triangle. I feel that this can be a bit deeper. And I'm going to just blend that in to this corner. Feel this samosa can be pushed back a little bit more into that shadow. That feels better. Nice. think we have arrived. Just going to push that shadow as well. A little bit more. Break that up a bit. Clean water. I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to have to let this dry completely before I remove the masking fluid, but I will show you guys what that looks like. But in the meantime, I'm going to erase. So I wanted to write the date, but I'm going to do some erasing. So I'll do that afterwards. I'm quite happy with how this street food snack has turned out. Well done, Gideon. And move on to the next challenge. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.